let's talk about any valuable use cases if you have seen recently in the market. Are you yourself developing? Are you mentoring any, any use case on blockchain based?
Oh yes, yes, yes. So I would take a couple of examples where kind of very interesting. At least for me, it's kind of interesting, right? So one thing here is at least in our part of the country, there are a lot of pilots are going on. And fascinatingly, these are all initiated by the government, right? So that's the major the positive side that I could see in the market. So one such thing is there is a government of one of our state which is started a pilot project, or I would say POC, in bringing the complete land registrations into blockchain.
Awesome.
Right. So land registrations, if you see, typically everywhere, land registration or buying a land is very very cumbersome process, right? Because this is one area where a lot of fraudulent happens, because it's kind of a huge investment that has to be put up by the the buyer. And let's say the whole reason, if you have to see what is the why it is so cumbersome, is because it's not foolproof. It's easily tamperable. Same land can be sold to multiple people, because creating a copy of a document is very easy, right? So, and there is no there is no way people can able to validate that, because it's kind of documents that people are there are people in the market who can make a document which is even better than the originals. That's how
That's
the
true.
the
Yeah.
whole thing is. So like people that's why they apart from spending so much of time and effort in validating stuff, they also spend so much of money with validating, vetting with the lawyers, advocates, and other stuff, right? So because, and the government feels that this is one of the major use cases where a lot of money laundering, a lot of things are happening, right? So they thought, I think blockchain is a perfect use case here. So let's say it hasn't came into production yet, it's still in the pilot stage. But if you can see the implications, let's say if the government, say for example, if they decided to move last 100 years of land registration data, government data, into blockchain, so now it will be like people can trust the data. Now they don't, the whole point people are going post and polls is they can't able to trust the document or trust the owners or trust the brokers. But now they can able to trust blockchain. So let's say if I have to buy a land or I have to buy a house, I can just check with the blockchain, like who is the current owner. So blockchain will tell this is the owner, and I can be rest assured that no other people can claim that this land is theirs. Right, that is first thing. And I can, as I told, the provenance part, which I told very early. So we can track, let's say, for last 100 years, who are the owners. Like for today he is the owner, so 2 years before this guy was the owner, 10 years before this guy was the owner. I can see the complete track of it, and I can see, okay, this land is fine, this land is legally abiding. So I don't and I will be very much confident that I don't I don't get into risk of losing my land or losing my house after I bought it, right? So the most fascinating part what I'm seeing is, now the whole cumbersome process, which takes months on months, which takes so much of meeting with lawyers and a lot of government delegates, there will be a time where people will start buying lands or a house just like buying a phone in Amazon, just because blockchain comes into the picture,
True.
right? That's one major thing. And let's say if I have to give another example, like I would, one of the other fascinating thing is the voting process, right? So we have back in our country we have the voting, it's called as the EVM machine, electronic voting machine, right?
True.
So there is always during the result, there are always this claims comes that the machine was tampered, or the result was biased. So it is not this is not what the democracy people has actually voted for. A lot of things will happen. And the second thing is, we see generally, it's the voting, or the voting percentage will not be even 70%, right? So because people has to go to the place, go to the voting ballot, they have to stand there, and or people might be in some other state or some other city or some other country, they can't able to travel. So because of all this reason, like maybe 60% to 60% of the voters turn up is actually a big thing, right? So let's say now there's again pilots going on, imagine when this comes to the production. So I can just vote sitting in front, sitting in my home with just a D app. I can just sit have a coffee in my home and do the regular stuff, and I can still cast my vote. or even let's say if I'm outside my country or outside my jurisdiction of the voting place, I can still able to vote. That's the major thing. So I think that's when the whole essence of democracy is going to come up, when let's say 95 or 98% of the people contribute to the voting, right? And there is no way people can claim that the result is tampered, because that is not possible in blockchain. And second thing is, here still we can able to create that anonymity. So it's not like, since blockchain is transparent, it's not like I will people will come to know from whom I have voted, for which party I voted. There is also a concept called zero knowledge proof, right? So zero knowledge proof is a very beautiful concept where it will validate without wanted to have exact data. So it will, the system or blockchain system will know that I have voted, I have made a valid vote, right? It doesn't want to know whom I voted. So that's the beauty of these things. So I think these two technologies, I think one part I have touched about the provenance and the immutable, and here I touched about the the ease of decentralization, the again the immutability part. So these, I think these couple of use cases would be easy for the even for the laymen to understand.